Chucky and I are a little upset. This Friday, there was a thing going on called Monster Mania Con. Basically a convention for horror geeks out there, and they were going to have a panel dedicated to the Child's Play movie, bringing out most, if not every, significant character in the Child's Play universe to talk about the movies. And you know there was going to be some details about the new Child's Play TV series, but thanks to the Rona, can't say the actual name or this video might get taken down. Half the cast canceled their appearance, including Brad Dourif, Catherine Hicks, even Chris Sarandon. There's still a few people left in this panel, but with everything being canceled because of a certain thing going on in our world right now, it is just a horrible time out there, guys. I don't know what else to say. But even with the Rona out there, make sure you guys are safe, sanitize at all costs. We're gonna carry on with some horror movie news that I found interesting that I definitely wanted to talk about. It's two particular movies that are associated with Blumhouse, basically the top dog in horror movie making thus far. They put out some stinkers, but most of the time, they succeed. I'm going to be talking about their newly confirmed Dracula movie that's in the works now, along with Jason Blum talking about one of the most famous horror amusement parks being turned into a movie. And I definitely want your guys' input down in the comment section of what you think about these upcoming horror projects. And leave a like so that on Friday, if this horror convention happens, Chucky Boy's got some news to talk about. Alright, let's dive into this Dracula movie news that I can't believe that one movie is responsible just for bringing all the Universal monsters back to life. We just talked about the other day how James Wan is producing a new Frankenstein style movie. I have a video on that on my channel where it revolves around a group of teenagers who find out that their neighbor is creating a monster in his basement. Turns out it's not the only Universal monster movie in the works, because now we have word that a new modern Dracula movie is coming out very soon. Right now, they're currently in talks with Karen Kusama to direct this new Dracula movie. If her name isn't familiar to you, she did the Megan Fox movie, Jennifer's Body. I gotta admit, was not a big fan of when that movie came out, but several years later, it's become one of those cult classic movies that a lot of horror fans seem to respect. The other details that we know about this movie that I'm loving is that they say this is gonna be a standalone movie with a small budget, and they are gonna be staying away from the dark cinematic universe that they were attempting to do. I just find it so funny that the correct formula for these Universal monster movies was to turn them into horror movies when they were out here trying to make them into action films. Who wants to see Dracula with a sword fighting people? Nah, boy, I want to see this guy bite necks, spewing blood everywhere, ripping apart limbs, taking selfies where he doesn't show up in the picture. That's the Dracula I know. I'm really curious to see what a modern take on Dracula is, because everything that we know about the character can kind of be thrown away, and just the bare bone basics will be kept of just an immortal man who has a thirst for blood, and then I'm assuming some horrific stuff starts happening. And I've cautioned, don't copy what the Invisible Man did and make Dracula a billionaire and have him be too scientific tech based. There's a way for you to do modern Dracula in today's society where it'll work, it'll make the most sense, and also make this character terrifying again, because the only Dracula that's popular right now, unfortunately, is the one voiced by Adam Sandler. But the thing here that no one is talking about that is mentioned in this article, that Blumhouse is working with other filmmakers trying to accept their ideas for new Universal monster horror movies, and one of the names being thrown around there is John Krasinski, your boy Jim from The Office. It's crazy to think that Jim right now is being considered a top horror director, but you can't blame him when he gave us the movie A Quiet Place, and early reviews for A Quiet Place 2 have it saying that it's just as good as the first one. This man is on a certified roll. I just wonder what John Krasinski would prefer, a Wolfman movie or a Mummy movie. I'm thinking they're going to do the Wolfman just because they're still trying to stay away from the bad taste of that other Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. Nonetheless, Dracula and other Universal monsters coming back, I think, is just such an exciting thing for the horror genre. What kind of story would you guys want to see in a modern Dracula movie, and what Universal monster would you want to see on the big screen next? The next movie that Blumhouse is seriously considering to turn into a horror movie is their Halloween Horror Nights amusement park. Now, if you're not familiar with Halloween Horror Nights, it's basically when Universal Studios, the theme park, gets turned into a giant haunted house filled with several different attractions, usually connected to popular IPs. They've had haunted houses that relate to Ghostbusters, Stranger Things, even Chucky. When this amusement park is open, people travel from all over the US to go to the theme park and just have a good scary time. And now it looks like Blumhouse is considering taking that amusement park and trying to flesh it out into a movie, saying, yes, definitely, we've actually talked about it, we haven't quite figured it out, but there's definitely a movie in Halloween Horror Nights somewhere. And before there's the people people out there who goes, how dumb can you turn an amusement park into a movie? Yo, Disney has been doing it forever. Pirates of the Caribbean was a theme park ride before a movie. The Jungle Cruise with The Rock was a theme park ride before the movie. It's really not unheard of where you take a ride in an amusement park and then turn it into a film. But the part there where they haven't figured out what kind of story to tell, I think it's pretty obvious what you do. Some might think, oh, it's just a movie where teenagers go to the haunted house place, they start getting killed off one by a masked person. No, the smart thing to do here is that Halloween Horror Nights is all about those popular IPs getting turned into horror attractions. And since the park is run by Universal, and Universal has a lot of movies in their IP lineup, I think you do a Night at the Museum style movie where the theme park ride comes to life with all the different scary movie IPs that Universal owns. That, I think, would be the perfect way to do it, because you could have a movie where the Ghostbusters, Chucky, the Purge people, Stranger Things all come to life and go after these group of teenagers. I think it would just be a fascinating, fun movie, because I can bet there's probably already tons of movies like Hellfest, for one, where it was a group of teenagers at an amusement park and they get killed off one by one. I think using the Universal IP is the way to go with this movie, but even if not, I know Blumhouse will come up with a nice story that'll get a lot of us excited to go out and see this film. Would you guys be interested in a Halloween Horror Nights movie, and how would you tell the story? But those are just two horror movies with Blumhouse that were being talked about in the news. Like I said, stuff has been really slow thanks to the Rona, but I'm not gonna let you guys go a day without talking some movies. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts, hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. As always, my name is Chris. Take care.